Hello there my blue bubbly bombastic boys and green genuine grim girls. Welcome to this dangerous diddly dandy day where on this vicious vile voracious video I will be commentating with the use of a lot of adept ambient acute alliteration even though it may not make any sense. But hey, it's fun and I'm all about that low luscious life. I'm not sure how long I can keep this up though because it's a bit of a pain having to scroll back and forth to check this damn decorative defiant dictionary every time I want to start an alliteration chain. And yes, I do indeed have to use a dictionary for this kind of stuff because my vocabulary is nowhere near large enough to store all these words at once. What do you guys think I am, a Rick and Morty fan? Yeah right. Anyways, today I'll show you all why you shouldn't give up even if things look bleak, cause there's always a chance your last-ditch effort rush will work so long as your opponent plays less than perfect. You know what they say, nobody's perfect, unless they play like a robot or something like that, then you should just surrender in that case. But to the point, everybody goofs so if you have the money to afford a rush and are trying to win quick because your income disadvantage is getting worse and worse, no matter how bad it looks it's always worth it to try, and if it doesn't work then so be it. Here's an example of such, although to be honest this isn't the most sizable of advantages, but it'll do. Needless to say I have no idea what the fire truck kind of loadout I'm using. I think originally I chose Wizard Chipper Farm, but I just so happened to get everyone's favorite Dart Monkey as my fourth, so why not use that to make the early game a wee bit easier. So yeah, need I remind you I'm on Ghost Lake Coast, a map that I like because it's as close as a straight line map Ninja Kiwi will make. But while I may like it I'm pretty goddamn trash at it, as you can see by the fact that I'm down on farms right now against a terrible player. Just kidding, N over here is a regular and I know he's pretty damn good. Apologies for my language actually, I should be using darn instead of damn, but even then I'm almost crossing the line. I've been working over the past few months on making my vocabulary Christian household friendly, because according to my analytics 88% of my viewers are Christian, so I don't want to lose them by becoming too much of a salty soft sailor. True story. Anyways, back to the game. So my original loadout as I said was Wizard Chipper Farm, and the fourth Dart Monkey helps me very much especially for the mid-game because my original 3-tower loadout is pretty ass versus Moabs, which is one of the few weaknesses of the strategy. You have to get up at least a fire wizard, but even then you'll probably need some more backup if they decide to send more than just one blue blimp. I reckon it's more of a for fun loadout rather than a loadout you use to win, but to be considered a great player you must be able to win under any circumstances, even if you're dealt a hand of Glue Sniper and Spike Factory and your opponent gets to choose whatever he wants. So about the cards I'm dealt at hand, seems like I have not quite prepared very well because just a couple of Dart Monkeys at the front ain't enough to take down the Moab layers without using a boost. So that leaves me vulnerable to getting rammed from behind, for lack of a better phrase. Nobody wants to get rammed from the behind, so I have to be extra careful with my defense here. Meanwhile at the same time I'm trying to get some of these rushes past N, but he's got that fan club right on cue. Rip me, that's an even bigger hit to my income, and with this incoming rush I'm forced to use my last boost. So as I said, not the biggest disadvantage, but still sizable. No boosts, crappy balloon income, and only a measly 3 plantations, and we're approaching the mid-20s. Dragging the game further will do me no good, so here's a last-ditch all-out rush I'm trying, BFBs everywhere but only able to send 4. But much to my surprise N isn't able to defend with his fan club and then some. I was almost certain that shit wouldn't work since he still hadn't shown his 4th tower yet either. Plus he could have easily gotten me if he sent a counter rush with fast cooldown Moabs. So while that may be a win on paper, it's more of a loss in my books because of how terribly I played. I just happened to get a little lucky on that last ditch rush, but hey, that goes to show you to always give it a try with an all-in rush and maybe you'll be fortunate enough to win. Okay, so here's some other games in the meanwhile, this being on Zen Garden, and then another one where I once again find myself in a rut with no option other than to all-in rush, so stay tuned to see how that turns out. For now, topics. What have we got today? Well, here's one that may strike my interest. Jack suggests perhaps I talk about gun control in Canada versus the US. I mean sure, but I'm not very knowledgeable about gun control laws and shit like that. All I know is that there seems to be a major school shooting in the States like once every few months. But meanwhile in Canada there hasn't been one that made even national news in years. And off the top of my head the biggest tragedy I can remember is that Montreal University shooting, and that was almost 30 years ago. And I can probably name a dozen incidents in schools in America since then that were even bigger than that in terms of casualty counts. Now it could all easily boil down to the fact that their population is 10 times higher versus Canada, so obviously more shit is going to go down there, but still, there's obviously factors other than that which is making people concerned about gun control. Mostly in the sense that I hear it's really easy to get a gun in America. I mean, most of these school shooters are young kids, and it seems that a lot of the time the weapons they're using are just taken from their parents' gun safe, and that makes for some pretty easy access to kids. Perhaps the issue would be solved if so many households in the country didn't own guns just to store it in their house for the unlikely event of using it for self-defense. That way these kids would have to go out of their way to somehow purchase a weapon illegally, say at a gun shop or something. Yeah, those are much less common up here in Canada, and I'm pretty sure you need to get a license to get them. I'm sure how it works down south, but all I know is that it's way too simple, especially if shit like this is happening so damn much. There's definitely something that needs to be done or else things will go bad. That's my very informative insight on this topic. In my opinion though, they really need to find a way to settle the storm when huge tragedies like these pop up, because when it makes headlines everywhere across the globe, you know something's wrong. And you also know that there's going to be a couple of mentally unstable kids somewhere in America seeing these news and thinking, hey, imagine if I did that to my school. My name would go viral and be all over the news everywhere, and I might even get a chance to be invited to the Ellen show. Or maybe not, I'm not sure she accepts mass murderers. But nonetheless the point is American school shootings are glorified too much, and that's a big reason why this keeps happening. Second to the light gun laws, a lot of people seem to be attracted to this word they call attention, and I totally get why. If you're a loner like me you'll understand. Don't be thinking I'm going to be doing anything like that though, lol, my mind is in the right place. I'm just saying sometimes when you get lonely a bit of attention from a massive audience goes a long way. Just the difference here is that I don't have to shoot up places to get that audience, albeit on a smaller scale. I definitely don't want negative worldwide attention. I'm not sure if that came out right, but hopefully you understood my point. I think that's all I have to say. Actually, one more thing. This gun violence stuff goes past more than just school shootings, cause there's just as many incidents of lunatics causing mass havoc at places other than just schools, like the incident in that nightclub or in Las Vegas. Considering those perpetrators weren't kids, I reckon it's more of an issue of gun access plus wanting attention that comes from it. Just rehashing my statements, but that's where I stand. Seems like America is the only place where this happens, or at least where it happens and literally everyone in the world is informed about it. Europe's dealing with that kind of shit too, but that's more of an issue with terrorists rather than their own citizens going crazy on one another. Those are two problems that need to be approached differently. Sherlock signing off with the gun control talk. We are pretty much at the end here, so let me wrap it up with the end of this game on pyramid steps. Yes, this will be forever named Pyramid Steps. As far behind as Flash is now, it's still one step ahead in mobile on the map naming game. Now the situation here is very similar, Wizard Farm Chipper leading me to a terrible disadvantage, and my only chance to win is a massive BFB rush. The difference, Apache versus Fan Club, Who would win? Well, this footage right here will give you the answer. Who would have thunk it, especially when he can get up too. Good game, well played. If you want to play me, just hop on over to my stream and pray the matchmaking gods are on your side. Have a Hail Mary day.